on that. And especially thank you so much to all of you who arranged their time during this ongoing pandemic, because right now it's a COVID-19 situation is going on. So I can understand that it's very difficult to like arrange your time and then come online. So thank you guys. Uh, so yeah, uh, you can also follow me on the Twitter handle. My Twitter handle is KD Sharmas. You can also follow me on the LinkedIn. Uh, and you can also, if you have like any concern, then you can also mail to me on the kdsharma900@gmail.com. So now, yeah, let's start the session.
Just one thing, Kuldeep, Vikas, you have to go to full presentation mode, go to display settings on top, the drop down, and swap. Yeah. Yep, we are good. Back to you, Kuldeep.
Okay. So here you can see the agenda of our session. So in our session, first we will discuss about few terminologies like CAN spam requirement, basically, DKIM, SPF. We will also understand about the IP and the ISP. In the IP, we will discuss about the shared and the dedicated IP. And then we will understand about the sender reputation. Then we will dive in the IP warming, that what it is actually, and why the IP warming is required. So we will understand about all of these terms. And after then, we will talk about the IP warming process. Then we will check the best practices for the IP warming and what type of tips we can have. So we can also check the best practices and tips. And then our quiz section will become. So in the kids section, where I will ask the 2 questions, and for each winner, I will give them a voucher. So guys, the voucher will be awarded in the basis of the fastest finger first. You all knows about it in the KBC. So hope you all knows about, there is no Kahoot quiz, but yeah, there is a fastest finger first quiz. So guys, yeah, let's start. First, Vika, go for that first slide, CAN spam. Because I can't. Hello.
Yeah, looks like Vikas has dropped.
Hello.
Yes, Kuldeep, looks like Vikas got dropped. So I'm going to bring up your presentation and we'll start sharing the screen.
No problem.
Okay, so I have the presentation right here. I am going to share my screen. I hope you are able to see it now.
Yeah.
I'll give you full mode and here you go.
Yes.
Yeah, back to you, Kuldeep.
Yeah. So first is CAN spam. So the CAN spam is basically a set of rules we need to follow while sending any type of commercial emails. Like actually, we can say that these type of CAN spam rules are the general rules. So the Salesforce also following these rules. Like if you are not following these type of rules, then it gives us very tough penalties. So here we can see the 6 CAN spam requirement. First is including physical mailing address in the email. In this part, you need to tell your recipients that where you are actually located. You must have a valid physical postal code, like you have a complete address, street, district, city, everything. You have a complete address, and always make sure that you have a valid physical postal code. The second one is that use an accurate subject line, means the subject line should be accurately represent the content of the email. So like don't use any deceptive subject line. Like also here is a tip from my side is that the content must be relevant, because if a relevant content, that the users can easily engage with them. So the content must be the relevant, and also the content give the readers a reason to open that why they are opening the mail. So the content must be give a readers a reason to open that, and then take any type of action like the clicks or the forward to that mail. I want to let you know that many users are just open that email on the basis of only the subject line. So obviously the subject line always should be short and understandable, so all of users can easily engage with the subject line and can open your email by the basis of the subject line. So, and also make sure that in content, please avoid any link or images with the link, because that link back to the third party, and because of doing this we are directly, indirectly or directly, we are reducing our positive, already built positive reputation. What is the reputation? I will explain definitely. But by doing this non, like these type of things, we are just reducing our already built positive reputation. So we have to ignore these type of things. Third point is that identify the sender in the header information. Means you can't use any misleading information like any false name, address, or so all the routing information you are putting in that email always correct. The fourth point is that identify a message as an advertisement. So again, it's the related to the, again it's the related to the content, because if you have to disclose clearly that your message is an advertisement. The fifth point is that provide the mechanism to subscribe to opt out. It means the content of your email must be include an unsubscriber link in the email. So like whenever the users are clicking on that unsubscriber link, then the user must be see the preferences tab and then able to log in as all. So a clear opt-out message should be the generated, should be included in your message, that, and also always make sure that your spam filters are not blocking these type of opt-out requests, because sometimes the spam filters are blocking also these type of opt-out requests. So you always need to make sure about it before going to do this. The sixth point is that honor outbound request promptly. Means if any subscriber have just told you that, okay, I do not want to receive your messages from your side, then you can't sell or transfer their email addresses, because you have to honor the request very promptly. In this, the basic rule on this actually, that you must be process all the unsubscriber requests within the 10 days. This is a basic condition, that you must be processed all the unsubscriber requests within the 10 days. And also please make sure about it that you are removing those subscribers who haven't opened your email in a month or a long period of time. So you need to remove those type of subscriber also. Always need to make sure about it. Yeah. So next. Yeah, Anil, next,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah,
I'm
Kuldeep, just-
seeing the next slide. Are you not?
SPF.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we are talking about the SPF and DKIM. So guys, here you can see a definition of SPF, that the sender policy framework, and the DKIM means the domain keys identified mail. By the SPF, it's really very difficult for anyone, whoever wants to, like some users are just want their identity. So basically by the SPF, they can't hide their identity. So basically it's reducing the spam and the fraud. So the SPF provide a complete process to verify that which providers can send emails on your behalf. So it's detecting the spoofing also. You can say that it's detecting the spoofing, because SPF provides a complete process to verify that which type of providers can send the emails on your behalf. So obviously you need to make sure that you have to work by as per according to the sender policy framework always. Now you can see the DKIM, domain keys identified mail. Yeah, full form is a domain key identified mail, but guys, I'm going to simple on the same, that guys, you all knows about your signature, no? That your signature is your identity basically. So a valid signature in emails always provides you a confidence that okay, the recipients, that okay, this is a real somehow because you have a valid signature, and especially they can also know that it was handled by any third party. You can say any third party like a Salesforce. So the Salesforce is an authorized way. So can you please share the screen, Anil? Sorry for that.
Yes, this is the issue with platform.
Oh,
If it throws you out when you share the slide deck.
okay. So here you can see the sign outbound email sent on your organization behalf. You can see the line. Yes, you can see this line, the sign outbound email sent on your behalf, because you know that this is a feature which can provide you a confidence that, okay, this email was handled by the third party. Okay. So you have to like a DKIM authorized where always. Going to the next slide. Yeah. So now we are going to talk about the IP address. So you know, guys, what is IP address? I think most of the guys already knows about it. But again, I'm just taking a quick look on this. That guys, like every device which connects to the internet needs a unique identifier numbers, which need to communicate, and that's called an IP address. Actually, this is a unique string of the numbers, which is represent uh, a unique string of numbers which is represented by the period, like the 213.514 or like something this. So guys, whenever you are going to do anything online, then website knows to send its information back to you. So and that's by the IP address it's going. Okay, so your IP address is just like a return address on a letter you have sent out, you can say. Okay. So guys, in Marketing Cloud, basically the two type of IP address we are going to understand. First is shared IP address, and the second one is dedicated IP address. The shared IP address means it can be used by the multiple senders. And in this case, you cannot control the actions of other senders. Second one is dedicated IP address. Means dedicated means a unique string that is only assigned to your website. The dedicated IP reputation fully depends on the like email quality, volume of the email, and how consistency in your emails which is sent from that IP address. So the dedicated IP reputation will depend upon these factors. So if you control the process of just creating and sending the emails, and sometimes you know that your sending volumes is also like monthly basis is also going like more than the 50,000 or more than the 70,000 emails, then I recommend to always use a dedicated IP address, because it will be work for you. If you are going to send more than the 50,000 emails, then the dedicated IP address always work. Now ISP, internet service provider, yeah, but this is a company actually which provide the internet connections to the end users, and this can include the companies that provide the internet connectivity, that provide free web-based mailboxes such as Gmail and Outlook. ISP is very important. Now going to the next slide, Anil. Yeah, so here we are going to understand about the sender reputation. Yeah. So the sender reputation is actually about that how ISP, means the internet service providers, viewing a particular sender quality of that mail they send. So now the point is that on which basis the ISP determine that what is the sender quality? On which basis ISP determine that what is the sender quality? So the few factors are associated with it, like the invalid addresses, spam trap hits, or authentication by the DKIM and the SPF. So you need like all these factors are responsible of the quality of the senders, which ISP determines. So always make sure about it. Yeah, the third party blacklisting also a factor on this end. And the most important thing is that engagement. So the ISP uses all these factors to determine, and you know that what type of things ISP more consider. ISP always check that what type of messages get sent, or like how often messages are bouncing. So like if messages will become under a spam, then ISP always be trying that the messages should be blocked. Okay, so the messages, whenever the messages will be considered as spam, then always think about it that ISP is keeping an eye on the spam, that the ISP always try that messages should be blocked. So this is a process, guys. This is a sender reputation. Then now the how the sender reputation affects. If the reputation is bad, then the email will be delivered in the spam folder. And if receives the good reputation, then the email is delivered in inbox. So now the question is that how we can make sure that email should be delivered in the inbox. Of course, guys, if you want like inbox delivery, then you have to build up a good reputation first. Okay, again, just same like the I explained in the can spam rules, that the good reputation always follow few things, like if subscriber don't want your email, then your reputation will be definitely suffer, because he do not want your side of mail. Honor unsubscriber list. Okay, you need to do this. I already explained about it. So give only, and also give only those permission to the users which really seeking about to know that what in that email, what type of content you included in that email. Okay, and only send email to those users who really like want that type of email, who really expect from your side, instead of sending like unexpected or irrelevant things. Okay, only send only those things in email what they really expect. Okay, so yeah, now we are going to the next slide. So Anil, yeah, here about the IP warming, and on this we will also check that why the IP warming is required. Okay, so the IP warming means the gradually increase the volume. Gradually means in a gradual way, like means slowly we are increasing the email volume, and by doing this all, we are actually building the credibility. And you can say not only the credibility, we are actually building a reputation, and reputation with the ISP. Okay, always make sure the reputation with the ISP we are building, and we are building the credibility. In IP warming, we will start like always start with a small volume of the mails, and then we are gradually increase the volume each week according to our already set schedule. Okay, so because it depends upon the number of like how many numbers of the email subscriber you have, how many email subscriber you have, so it depends upon that, Sam. IP warm up process can usually take and like average between the 8 to 9 weeks. But just like if your IP is new, then it means there is no sending history, because obviously it's new. And also the deliverability is also unpredictable sometimes, because not only it's new, even the ISP also don't know that anything about your sending history, or the ISP also don't know about that your sending practices, because we do not have any idea. Okay, so here we need to build up approx 30 days of desirable sending history. So by doing this all, ISPs have an idea of the email coming from your new IP address. So guys, we need to build up at least 30 days of desirable sending history for the new IP address. If we are talking about to build a sending history, it means we need to follow not only the CAN spam requirement, but also we need to consider the reputation of the senders, like the sender reputation. So this is very important, guys. Now we can move into the next slide here. Yeah, so here is a process getting the file started. So let's understand this more in depth way, that how the IP warming process is running actually. So guys, how many of you guys like just went to any hill station? I know that right now the COVID situation is going on, but before half an year and maybe before 2 years, how many you guys went to any hill station, or in winter also did campfire type of things? Or I think many of you guys also belongs to the villages, so where the people like normally use Indian stove, or maybe we can say the chulha for the cooking any dishes. So guys, how you will start that stove, or I can say that how we can start the campfire? Obviously, first you need to push few small sticks under the stove, and then you will drop few drops of a butter, then it will be burned out all the sticks by using the match boxes. Then you know that after then we will slowly we are gradually we are increasing the quantity of the sticks, and then you will notice that the fire will be completely started. So this is a process. This is a process that how we can start the Indian stove, because and the you know that the same process is happening with the IP warming. Next, please. Yeah. So you can't start with like you can't start with like large volume of emails, like large segments of emails. You have to start with small segments of emails on per day basis, and then you can slowly increasing over the time period the email quantity, and then the doubling the volume on the weekly basis. So guys, this is a IP warming, but you know that just suppose that what will happen if during your cooking or during your campfire a storm will start. Obviously your fire will be the blowout. So the storm or maybe the heavy rains are a responsible factor for the campfire or for chula. So just same like that, the same thing, the IP warming process also have a, like a responsible factors. The responsible factors are overall list size, list quality, engagement of the subscriber. So these are the responsible factor. Anil, next please. Yeah, yes. So these are the factors. Now, if just suppose that if you just large your list, means like size of the list is just inappropriately, or you are not maintaining the quality of the list, or maybe sometimes you forget about the engagement with the subscriber, then what will happen? Obviously your email will be arriving in the spam folder instead of the inbox. So guys, you just need to make sure about the engagement, like you must be have an active subscriber, or those subscriber who are view, open, or take any type of action like a forward or something like it, any type of action in your email. So you must be have an active subscriber. You can also create a complete process also that identify that number, how many inactive subscriber we have. So you can also create a complete process to identify for the inactive subscriber. But you need to make sure about the three things: overall list size, the quality of the list, and the engagement of the subscriber. Engagement is very important, guys. Next please, Anil. Yeah, here we can see the warm-up plan. During the 1 to 2 weeks, between 1 to 2 weeks, we are sent to the most active subscriber who can view or click in the last 30 days. During the week 3 to 4, we are expanding our list and to subscriber who open or click in the last 60 days. During the first 6 weeks, don't send subscriber who not open or click in the last 90 days. So always ensure that you are sending the consistently, and keep to that frequency only. Okay, no matter what, you have to stick with your warm-up plan, because sometimes you know that if we are not stick on that plan, that sometimes our IP is not warm, our IP is getting cold, and then we have to restart again. So this is a I will explain about it. Yeah, so the next slide please. Yeah, so the process and the strategy, IP warming process and strategy. So guys, like if you are doing warming to more than 10 million plus subscriber, then always make sure that we are adding another IP, because if we are adding another IP, then it will be more good. If we are just warming for more than 10 million plus subscriber, then this condition is like 10,000, 10 million, or maybe the 20 million. So always make sure to add another IP. Also, once you start that warming up, you can expect some bulking and the blocking too. But always you need to stick with your plan. Okay. And what is the plan? The warm-up plan means that how we are warming up our IP. But with this plan, always make sure about our reputation. You can't forget about the reputation, because the maintaining the reputation during the warming process is really tricky, but it's profitable always. So always stick with your plan. Now here you can see the two terminology I use, the blocking and the bulking. So what we need to take actions to fix this bulking and the blocking. So guys, sometimes we can say bulking, like if you are not list, if our list is like not engaged, or we need to segment very carefully sometimes. So in that case, we need to fix this bulking and blocking. So always make sure about the engagement. You can focus on most engaged subscriber to boost our engagement. So if you are focusing on the most engaged subscriber, then we can also limit our bouncing rate as well. And yeah, during the warming process, it's very important to measure your time to time regular basis, your metrics and the data. So always make sure that you are following everything, then your blocking and bulking issue also will be resolved. I know that it's very tricky, but yeah, during the warming process, it's we can expect because it's natural. But if you have an engaged subscriber, if you have focus on that engagement, then segmentation always you are following, then obviously you can fix this. And guys, yeah, the sending high volume of mail from a cold IP always hurt your sending reputation. Means if you are just stop to sending email for more than the 30 days, means more than a month, then your IP will become a cold. Actually, the IP become cold or maybe the hot always in the eye of ISP, in the view of ISP. So you can say that if IP will be called, then your already built reputation on the IP will be lost. So in this case, you need to start again from the scratch. Okay, so always make sure that your IP will not be called. So it's all about the called IP. Then the fresh companies can also start with shared IP. But if you are not fresh, means you have enough audience, then you can start with dedicated IP as well. Dedicated means your IP is not shared with other users, so you can have like more control on your monitoring process, and also you can check that what is sent from your IP. So it's always better for managing the reputation. Yeah. Go the next. Yeah. Yeah. Here you can see a pre-domain IP address warming calendar. Sometimes we are calling it is a like preferred method also, preferred method, or maybe the pre-domain IP address warming calendar. It's like a, you can see that here is a table form, but like, and lot of like 20,000, like 20,000. So instead of using this high volume of emails, you can also start with like small segments. This is just an example, but you can also start with small segments always. And you can limit your volume day by day and then increasing it gradually. Means slowly you are increasing, and if you can maintain this, then it will be work. And you have to make sure that you are maintaining from the starting, so you can retain more control on this. Okay, here you can see also the basis of the segment, the Gmail is also slower. Yeah, so you can prepare your best plan or warming as per the basis of this calendar. And yeah, obviously when ramping up your volume of email, you always want to make sure that your mailing list is completely well balanced, like with all type of domains like the Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail. So for example, just like if you are at 10,000 per day, okay, and you have a distributed list, and not something like this that you are going to send the 9,500 to the Hotmail and 500 for others. No, you have a complete distributed list. Okay, so yeah, move to the next slide. Yeah, if segmentation is not possible, guys, okay, then you can select this method, because this is an alternate method, or we can say this is a simple IP address warming calendar. Okay, if a segment, this is a bit slower, but if segmentation is not possible, then you can use this. it will provide very easy segmentation. Whenever you will use it, it will provide very easy segmentation. But if not possible segmentation, then you can use it. And this is normally used by the B2B users, okay, business to business. So the alternate method or simple IP address warming calendar always used by the B2B users. Now move to the next. Yeah. Here is a best practices and best tips for the IP warming. First one is planning. Guys, planning is very important, that how you are going to segment emails, or how you are maintaining the mail quality, and what is your plan for that next week, or what is your plan for the upcoming weeks. So it's all about, guys, a planning. Okay, so the planning is very important before doing this. Then second one is that to build, you must send at least 250,000 email messages per month on a dedicated IP. Okay, if you are going to build and maintain the good reputation, always make sure that if you are going and build and maintain a good sending reputation on a dedicated IP, then you must be send at least 250,000 email messages per month. We have asked the same question on our previous quiz, so I think many of you guys are already aware about it. Now, do not send like more than the double volume week over week. Like you have to maintain and plan your strategy very effectively. You can't send more than the double volume weekly. So as you already know about that cold IP also, so if you didn't send any email from the last 30 days or more than the 30 days, then you need to warm up your IP again. Okay, so if you didn't send any email for the past 30 days, then you again need to warm up. Here I'm going to provide a quick tip for the SAM, that it's not very difficult to build a reputation, a positive reputation. It's not difficult very much that you are building a positive reputation as a new sender, but I just let you know that maintaining the existing reputation always is a challenge. Okay, so always keep this in mind, that it's very challenging, and send your email with proper planning and proper execution, because IP warming is completely depend upon the planning and the execution. If you are uh, if you are going with the planning and the execution, then you will definitely succeed. So always go with the proper planning and the proper execution. Your reputation will not suffer if you are going with this. And so always make sure about it. Yeah. Now, going to the next slide, Anil. If you have like 1 lakh recipients, then you can split and send over 50,000 emails per day during the first week. And then week second, you can split send out 2 days, 50,000 per day again. And week 3 and future send all 1 lakh at once. Same for the other numbers also, just like whatever the digit have, like 1 lakh or 250,000, maybe sometimes it's 5 lakh, or maybe sometimes it's 10 lakh. Okay, so the whatever digit you have to planning, you have to segment properly. Okay, so like for 250,000 recipients, first week just split and send over 4 days, 63,000 per day. Then second week we are splitting and send over 2 days, 125K per day. And for the third week in the future, we are sending all the 250,000 at once. Okay, so this is the planning. No matter whatever digit you have, whatever requirement you have to understand the things. You have to go with the planning and go with the better execution. Definitely you will succeed. Yeah. Next slide, Anil. Mail delivering in China, yeah, that's the point. If you are sending any email to the China region, then always make sure that the process should be slow, or we can say the tortoise mode. Tortoise mode is always best suitable. So always make sure about that. If you are sending any email to the China country, then always make sure that the process should be very slow, because there are a lot of restrictions as compared to the other region. There are like a lot of restrictions, so process should be slow. transactional IP address. Yeah, the transactional IP address also need to warm up, but always consider that the daily volume limit and the weekly volume limit. Like if it less than the 100K per day, then the IP warming will be occur normally. So like we do not need to limit volume. So in that case, like you can definitely warming up this transition IP address also. But here it's a tip from my side that in transactional messages or transitional IP address, always ensure that the subject line, whatever the messages you are sending, the subject line is should be the non-promotional in the transactional emails. Guys, also always make sure that we are sending the real email to the real recipients, because fake data maybe occur a problem for you. Okay, so fake or text data can't be used for the IP warming. Yes, you can also, if you want, then you can put your question in the question and answer tab. Okay, we will try to resolve this. Earth asking that what will happen if we are not sending any emails for 60 days, and again we want to send 50,000 emails in coming 2 weeks. How we can handle the situation? Earth, I just want to let you know that if you are not sending any email for 60 days, then obviously your IP will become a called IP. Or if you are new sender, if you do not have any sending history, then your IP already like called type of thing. So you can't send, and it's just like a spamming. So your reputation will be suffer. Okay, so you have to build your reputation. So you have to go with the proper plan. It's not like that you are not sending any email for 60 days and again you are going to send the 50,000 emails in just the 2 weeks. Obviously ISP knows about it, that you are doing ISP keeping an eye on the same. So Parth, this is the answer. The Shefali asked, I think beyond 30 days we need to warm up IP again if no email sent. No, if you are not sending any email, then obviously your IP will become a call. Okay, sometimes like if you are not sending an email for the 2 or 3 weeks maybe, so you can not have any problem, because you can maintain on the same, because warm up process is little bit slow. But if you are not sending in if you are not warming up the IP, then obviously you have to build up again. Okay, so yeah, Shefali, can you please explain more about transactional IP address? Yeah, the transactional IP address, always consider the volume limits. The transactional IP is warming is little bit difficult, but you can do this if just always make sure that if you are going to less than 100K per day volume, then the IP warming is normally occurring, because 100K per day, less than 100, like we do not need to limit our volume on the transactional IP. Okay, so you can send, and in that case of transactional IP, it's completely different. Yeah. How do we perform the segmentation? Yeah, a good question. You can perform the segmentation by the divide the emails on that particular, just like if you have a 1 lakh recipients, then you can divide, let's just like the few small segments. Or like if you have like lower, like if you're just like 20,000 recipients, then you can divide your volume just like the one during the between the first or 2 week, you are going to send like the 3,000 or 4,000 emails, and then the third or fourth week you are sending the just slowly like 10,000 or 8 or 10,000 emails. So this is a process that how you are segment your mails, how you are segments your mail, and the segment is always on the basis of the domains always. Okay, like Gmail, it means Gmail you are sending the 20,000. It doesn't mean that you are sending the 19,000 in the Yahoo and the 1,000 for the Gmail. So this is a completely different thing. Sudhir is asking, is the tortoise mode only for sending to China, or there are more other locations? No, there is no other location, only the China, because China have a few restrictions. So ISP having an issue actually. That's the thing. ISP having an issue. Pankaj asking that I have 450,000 subscriber data and need to warm up a dedicated IP. Yeah, you can do. I have made 8-week plan for it. First, how many emails should a subscriber receive during this period? For the subscriber receive that, you have to do a proper planning for that, Pankaj, for the SAM, that you have an active subscriber, or during the first or second week, you can send to the email only for the active subscriber. Okay. And after then you can go with that, you can expand your subscriber, like 80% of the active subscriber, but the 20% for those users also who can expect your mail. Okay, like somehow the engaged subscriber. So you can do with this plan. Proper segmentation is very important. Okay, what will be the success criteria of IP warming, or how to check our IP is warmed up? IP is warmed up if you are like not, if you are receiving the good things, your reputation is good, then obviously your IP is warm up. You have an active subscriber, your users are actively communicate with you, then obviously it's good. If Saiteja Vemula, yeah, if possible, can you show how we can create dedicated IP address? How we can create a dedicated IP address? If like why you need to use a dedicated IP address? If you have a like somehow like if you have a like more emails you want to send, then you need to dedicated IP address, a large volume of mail. Otherwise you can, the shared IP is mostly work. But for the seamless working with the high email volume, we always consider the dedicated IP address. So in those cases we need a dedicated IP address, Saiteja. Okay. Any more questions? Any more questions, guys? I have 450,000 subscriber data. Yeah, I already answered. Yeah. So, any more questions, guys? From Unico, we are facing the same issue with China. Okay, Nagraj saying that we are facing the same issue with China. Their firewall is very strong, including many layers. Yes, Nagraj, exactly, Sam, because they have a like good good things, good resources, and the ISP is always confused somehow because the restrictions is going on there. So yeah, any more questions, guys? Or
So
we can
while we wait for more questions, you may want to run your quiz, share the rules of your quiz, and then go ahead